So last week I was filming a chatty little get ready with me.
I'm not a beauty guru and I cannot do eyeliner while talking.
I was talking about hobbies, things I love to do, and my battle against brain rot. How much I hate being on my phone so much, how much short form media shortens my attention span, it makes me feel like garbage. And I was going back and editing it, and then I was pulling up TikToks because I thought I would splice in some videos about people talking about hobbies. And I saw this video of this girl talking about how we live in a capitalist society and time is money and nobody has time or money. And I thought it was a joke.
Why does everyone need a hobby all of a sudden or an interest? Everyone's now transforming this whole discourse into the discussion that Gen Z has no personalities, all we do is scroll, and that's why we don't have any individuality, which I beg to differ. Hobbies were made for rich people. They were intended for rich people. That was the origin of hobbies like what we call horse riding, chess, reading, playing an instrument. What do you need to do all these things? You need time. And how do you get time? How do you buy time? Buying time costs money. Time is the most expensive resource one can have. But let's look around. Have we seen the economic state that we're in? Are we rich? No, we're not. So why are we telling everyone to pick up a hobby when we don't even have time to do so? Because we're working, trying to pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a very, very ignorant take to have. You don't have to be interested or collecting something or actively doing something to be a person that has values, to be a person that's unique. These things were fabricated so that women wouldn't be hysterical and fall into depression because they were forced to stay at home and therefore have to have hobbies, keep themselves busy, and survive mentally. This is where hobbies came from.
And then I saw another video of someone talking about how after she gets home, all she does is go on her phone or lay in bed. What do you mean, what are my hobbies? Like,
can we please retire what are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? Nothing. I work all day. What you want me to do? What you want me to do after work? Pottery? What are your plans for this week? No plans. I'm laying down. I'll be laying down right now, the next hour for the next year. I in my bed. Can I relax?
And even the overlying sense that hobbies are dumb and that we should all just yield and give in to our capitalist corporate overlords and embrace that we're all burnt out and sad and that there's nothing we can do to fix it. I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I've noticed lately these days I've gone off, done something, cooked a meal, read my book, hung out with my boyfriend and watched TV with my crochet, and hours after I get home, I'll realize, hey, where's my phone? And it'll be in my purse still from when I got back. And I feel like that's the biggest signifier, at least for me, that I've beaten my to my phone when I can go for hours not even realizing that I don't even have it. I think genuinely I can mark how good of a day I had by how little screen time I've had. It's that consequential, I should say. If I'm not on my phone, it's because I'm doing something that actually makes me happy. I would always turn to my phone as a way to dull myself or soothe myself after a really stressful day. And you want to know why? Because you don't have to think when you're scrolling. All of these media platforms are constantly competing for our attention. First, it was TikTok. I realized, man, I am wasting so much time on TikTok. And given I make videos on the internet, so I still do talk about TikTok and I have it on my computer, but I only use it to make content, which is a hobby of mine because I love weird niche social things on the internet. But I realized I was spending too much time on TikTok, so I deleted TikTok. And then Instagram came out with Reels. And I started spending way too much time on Instagram, so I deleted Instagram. And then YouTube came out with YouTube Shorts, and I was like ready to rip my hair out. I was falling back into the same habits that I was back with TikTok, and I just hated it. When I was trying to break that habit, there was a few things I did, but I think it's really important to discuss why it's so important, because if you're motivated, if you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna go on my phone anymore, I'm gonna go do other things, and then you start doing other things and you're like, why don't I just go on my phone? Then we've defeated the point. So let's talk a bit about anxiety and doom scrolling and how bad it is for you, because it's no secret.
Finally, a movie. Much better.
It doesn't feel good to admit this, but I legitimately don't have the attention span anymore for TV or movies. Like, I'll put something on and I think I'm going to enjoy it, and then the next thing I know, I'm not enjoying it because I'm just looking at my phone. And sometimes I delay putting the TV on. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to commit.
And these are just some examples, okay? All you have to Google is like phone bad. And Google will be like, phone bad. Phone really bad. I don't think short form social media content is the devil. I don't think it's bad. I think it's fun. I've made short form content before. I have a blast doing it. But I think there's a different mindset when it comes to the creator versus the consumer mindset. All right, there's no shortage of people online talking about brain rot, talking about doom scrolling, and I think this cultural mindset is really important. I think calling it brain rotting is a beautiful, wonderful thing in our society and our culture that we should keep doing, because it's like your parents saying, if you keep playing video games, you're gonna rot your brain. All right, maybe you don't necessarily believe them, but after a few hours, you're like, man, maybe I really should stop. And it's kind of like that. I think when it comes to beating something like a reliance on social media, I found the best way to help myself was to treat myself like a little child whose favorite toy just got broken. All right? You're not going to be like, suck it up, kid, get back to work. Unless that's how you like to be treated. I think it's important to take away that thing, maybe slowly, but I personally have to go cold turkey on things. It's either all the way or no way. It's you have to like ease them up. You have to distract them. All right, and what is a good distraction? Hobbies. All of this hobby slander, it's driving me up a wall. It is driving me crazy. I am a serial hobbyist. I'll admit it. I've had phases of things that I've liked to do that I no longer like to do. I tried printmaking, like with the little carving of the things, and I tried doing that. I've tried making beaded necklaces. I've tried knitting. I've tried a whole lot of things that I've gotten some stuff for I didn't end up liking. And you know what? That's life. But for me, what's important about hobbies is to embrace maybe not having one thing. I don't have one thing that I am really good at. I have a lot of things that I'm okay at, or that maybe I am good at. Okay, for example, this crochet blanket. That took me about a year. It sits in the back of my videos. It took me about a year to make. Not a year of dedicated work, but I'd do a few rows, I'd take a break. I'd do a few rows, I'd take a break. At the end, that's all I did for like a month, is try to finish this blanket. And I finished it. And it's that delayed gratification that feels so good, because not only did I work hard and I completed something and I felt so good, because I think it's beautiful and I know it'll be in my family forever. If that ever ends up in a Goodwill, all right, I'm rolling in my grave. That's never going in a Goodwill. God forbid it. But now every time I look at it, I feel proud of myself. I think, wow, that's beautiful. I did that. That is not only the accumulation of about a year of working on something. It's also the accumulation of all of the things I had made before it that were bad and mediocre and fell apart and weren't good, with missed stitches and mix-matched. I'm just trying to say that the good things in life don't come easy, all right? And if it's easy or if it's free, you're probably the product. When it comes to these social media apps that suck you in and waste all of your time, it's because you're the product. You're what they're selling advertisers to, what they're selling products to. You're how they make their money. If we're talking about functioning in a capitalist society, we're playing into their deck of cards. If we just relinquish all of our time to them, investing time in yourself isn't wasting the precious time that you have left on this world. It's using the time that you have in a way that is meaningful. Crocheting isn't my only hobby, and that's something that I also think is important. There are some people that we'll see online that do one thing incredibly well. To have that kind of drive and passion and gift is something incredibly rare. And if you find that thing and you have it, I am envious. And so are many other people. Do not try to be one of these people. Unless you already have your thing, and in which case, I'm jealous. But do not try to be one of these people if you cannot be one of these people. You will never be a freaking Jimi Hendrix. And that doesn't matter. You don't have to be the best ever at something. I think finding the variety, finding different things that make you happy or that you can do for different reasons is one of the things that I love so much. I read, I take care of plants, I crochet, I cross-stitch sometimes, I go running, I go weightlifting, I make videos on the internet that you're watching right now, I play video games, I like to doodle and paint, I used to play guitar, which I'll get to in a moment, but it's having hobbies for my physical health. Running, weightlifting, going to the gym, going on hikes, enjoying being out in nature. These are all things that are good for me and my body, that make me feel stronger, that make me feel good, that give me that endorphin rush. When I beat my record for a mile without even trying, I feel so good. Not just because of the endorphins, but also because I know the cumulative work that it took to get me here. When I'm able to set a new PR in the weight room, I feel phenomenal. Not because I want to look like a JoJo character, but because it's good to see number go up sometimes. When I complete a new project or try something new, these are all fun things for me. I love sitting down to crochet while I'm watching a show with my partner. That's something that I can do with my hands while maybe my mind is occupied, or I can just sit there and focus on it. I can sit and focus on a book. There's focus hobbies, there's busy hobbies, and there's physical hobbies, in my opinion. There's more kinds of hobbies, like creative hobbies. It's not that deep. One example for me is playing guitar. I don't have my guitar here because I'm too embarrassed with all of the neighbors, anybody hearing me. When I did play guitar at my family's house, I was incredibly mediocre. I played for 3 years? I learned the regular chords, I couldn't even do an F, and I never got any better, honestly. I knew one little plucky song, bing, 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 bing. And I loved playing guitar, but I didn't want to be great at it. I just wanted to have fun being mediocre. It's all about setting level expectations for yourself and understanding why you're doing something, which is to make you happy. Overcoming new challenges, finding something you love, finding something you want to work harder on or be better at is what life is all about. You can't be bad at scrolling, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? That you can't be bad at scrolling. So when we can't take the L more than we already have, we just scroll. We just go on our phones. We just accept that we're tired. We've worked hard. I don't want to work any harder. Why should I crochet? Why should I work on something? Why should I sit down and make a video after work? I'm tired, but I'm happy. I'm having so much fun right now. This is something that I focus on, that I have fun on. But this is just one minute hobby. I can put a list up here of hobbies. I know what you're thinking, or at least some of you are thinking, and that is the barrier to entry. A wonderful example that I heard about once. This was years ago of someone talking about fashion and how if you love fashion, there are things that you can do to participate in this culture. You can watch iconic runways. You can learn about different fabrics, different designs, different designers, different couture houses, different fashion terms. You can read up on the history and of decades past. Notice how I didn't say buy clothes? I think with some hobbies, yes, you are going to need to buy into them. You know, if your hobby is cliff diving, I got bad news for you. That's expensive. If your hobby is reading, go to your local library. There are so many things that are so adaptable and so forgiving. I saw a TikTok recently of this girl who's like, I love pottery. I can't afford another pottery class. So now I work part-time at this pottery place. Beautiful! Beautiful! I mean, given you're giving into, you're now working more. But it seemed like she was talking about her work in a way that was loving and that was happy. And she was proud of how far she'd come. I don't think I can find the video. But it's such a good example of barrier to entry being how willing you are to try new things. It's free to go outside. It's free to join run clubs. If you want to learn how to crochet, you can ask people in your life. I'm sure there's somebody who's picked it up and given up. Or maybe your grandma, maybe a family member has an attic full of yarn and knitting needles or tools or what have you. If you want to get into sewing, you don't need to buy a sewing machine. You just need a thread and needle. And even then, you can do research before you get into it to make sure that's something you're actually passionate about. The barrier to entry for so many things is so low. And yes, for so many things, it is so high. If I wanted to get into pottery right now, I could buy air dry clay or oven bake clay. I could buy just little play clay to see if that's something that I actually would enjoy doing before I go and buy a $200 to $300 class. More or less, depending on where you're located. At the end of the day, you don't have to be a savant. You don't have to be a Renaissance man. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do much of anything, really. Just don't complain about having no time if you spend all your time on your phone. That's the lesson for today's video. Don't complain about having no time if you spend it all on your phone. Because at the end of the day, we're all mortal. We're all spiraling towards the end of our lives. Every second we spend doing something is 1 second we will never get back. Does that mean everything is meaningless? No, it means everything matters. And we're worth trying for. You're worth showing up for. I'm worth trying for. I'm worth failing for. I'm worth the time it takes to try something and fail at it. And try it again. And maybe I fail again. But that's okay. What's not worth it is destroying your attention span, numbing yourself on your phone, and being complacent and being a backseat driver in your own life. I just saw these videos and I was so upset. I was so mad. Not literally like, but upset. There are so many beautiful things in life that you just have to go out and try. That's the homework for today. Anyway, I hope you don't mind me rambling. You've been wonderful to talk to. Like if you like, subscribe if you can. If you don't mind, I forgot to ask at the top of this video, I'm a shitty, crappy YouTuber. And leave a comment about your favorite hobby or something you love. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit different from my normal thing.